Okay, what we're talking about now in this video is estimating resources. So normally what we do is we estimate it at the work package level. You can see that getting resources for your project is usually a bit of a mission, and you never get everything that you want. So that's what this cartoon is sort of saying. So estimating the resources is the process of estimating the type and quantities of each material, human, plant and materials required to perform the work package. Now, as I said, we work at work package level, but other projects may work at activity level. Remember, you break the work package down into activities, the actual actions that need to happen to produce the deliverable produced by the work package. But for the purposes of this course, we're just looking at work package level. So the inputs are the work package resource requirements. So for example, for curb and channel, you'll determine you need 1 supervisor, 3 labourers, a curbing machine, 10 cubic metres of concrete. Okay, and then there's the resources available. What is the plant and equipment, people and materials available within your organisation? So you've basically got to say, so you're looking at here and say, well, I'd like a supervisor, 3 labourers, but have we got those things available to us? And remember, it's available within your organisation, or you may say, well, we're going to procure them. So for example, with the concrete, you maybe don't have a concrete plant as part of your organisation, so you need to procure that from an external source. So you use your expert judgment and alternatives analysis, so you look at the different options of doing this, and what you arrive at is what you're actually going to do. So in this case, we find that we've only got 2 labourers available to us, so we don't get our 3 labourers, we only get 2. We actually do have a curbing machine, and of course we can buy concrete from anyone. Okay, so that is a pretty simple example. When things when you've got a bit more of a complicated work package, for example, say doing some earthworks, then you need to do an alternatives analysis, and that's looking at the different ways that you could be doing that work package. So in this case here, we're doing some earthworks, and we've got an alternative of having a couple of scrapers and a bulldozer, or we've got a excavator and a couple of moxies and a bulldozer, or we've got an excavator and three moxies. So those are the options available to us after we've looked at what we can get internally and or what we can get, or what we can procure externally. So then you analyze and compare them, and so you look at what's the most efficient way of doing it, what's going to sort of deliver it quickest, which is going to be the least expensive way of doing it, which is the most suitable. So some of these might be loud pieces of equipment, and some of them might be quieter, and you might say, well, we want to use the quieter ones because they are in the middle of it, because the earthworks is close to a residential area. The risk, it might be that when you're procuring these things, you have to procure these, but these are your own. So if there's rain or something like that, then these are still going to cost you a lot of money just sitting there doing nothing because you're paying a rental, but these ones are just costing you less. They're costing you those fixed costs on those. And other work package resourcing as well. What are the other work packages using? So it's no use sort of, if you've got a small earthworks project, to bring a couple of scrapers in. You might as well use a excavator and some trucks, because the excavator's on site doing other stuff such as pipe laying um, and shaping banks or something like that. So it might be that the most efficient way of doing it is to use these, but the when you match it with the other work packages, you find that it's better to have an excavator and some trucks. So that's where the expert judgment comes in. Experience, the skills available within your organisation, your knowledge, so you might not be that knowledgeable about using scrapers, but you're pretty good on using trucks, and communication. So you analyse and compare them, and then you come up with, this is the best way to do it, this is the best alternative. So with complicated work packages, you would look at different ways of doing it, and you would come up with, this is the way to do it. Now it might be that when you go through the process, you find that it doesn't fit in, and you have to actually have another look at another alternative, but that's your best guess at this point in time. So the resource availability. So resources may not be available to you. They may not be available at the time they're required. The required skills may not be available within your organisation. or the required equipment may not be available within your organization. So the solutions are, with time, is reschedule some work packages. So if you can't get a piece of plant that you want in a particular time, you could reschedule the work so that the work package where that piece of equipment is required is done later or earlier to fit with when the piece of equipment is available. Or you can use external resources. You can procure the resources. So you could go and hire that piece of equipment off someone else at the time that you'd require it. Skills, so the required skills aren't available. You can employ or hire people that do have the skills. You can subcontract the work activities, in other words, procure the skills externally. Or you can train existing staff up so that they've got those skills. And with equipment, you can buy or hire the required equipment, so once again you procure it. Or you can subcontract it, so once more procure it out. Or you could reschedule the work package to fit when you do get the piece of equipment available to you. Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, so yeah, it's buy or hire or subcontract the work activities to get the piece of equipment that you need. So you can see that resource availability is really quite important. Now, it might be that you go through the whole process, get to the timetabling, and find that the resource selections that you may have made aren't suitable, and so you might have to go right back and do this all over again. And that's why time management is an iterative process. It's a matter of putting it all together and getting it to work with the resources that are available to you.